Hey everybody, the Sunday Night Talk is going to be up and live like it is right now. As soon as the game is over, I'm just checking the feed to make sure that everything is up and working and seeing if we're good to go. So, see you soon. Check, check. Do you got me?
Check. What time are we starting right away? Because I got to use the restroom real quick.
Go ahead. I'm going to put you in the waiting room and send me a text when you're good.
Okay.
Okay, here we are, everyone. This is the Sunday Night Talk. We are live right here on YouTube, recording this 8:42 Central Time. Detroit. Sorry, not Detroit. What am I talking about? I have too many games in my head. Buffalo, Baltimore just ended. And it's time for the Sunday Night Talk. We had the divisional round this week in the NFL. We have so much to discuss, awards, observations. What a way to end Sunday night as well. Omar is with me. We're going to go on a wild ride today. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to Give my channel a subscribe. Give it a like. That's what makes it grow. All my stuff is up there, remember. My stand-up comedy clips, my interview series, my YouTube shorts, not to mention this very show. And we're live for the playoffs, so get ready. Let's start the show. Recording this 8:43 Central Time. Omar Carmona is here. It's the Sunday Night Talk. Just wrapped up. Baltimore, Buffalo. I don't know if there's any other way to end Sunday night other than what is Omar doing there?
I'm going to drink this for guys like Josh Allen. I'm going to drink this for Jayden Daniels. This is a beer that I found, El Chingon, brewed here in Texas. And that's what those guys are, chingones, and what a Sunday, what a weekend of football.
So you're finding beers now. Is that what's going on?
Well, I'd like to find some beers, maybe make it part of the show for next year, and we'll see how it goes. But a different beer, maybe every show, I'd like to sample and try. And this one from Four Corners Brewing Company, El Chingon. This IPA is brewed with a Chingo blend of 7C hops and balanced with a mighty backbone of Munich malt.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Ads on the show now? This is unbelievable.
Oh, you're right. You know what? I better not. Right? We got to get paid first.
You're crazy. All right. Well, I said it was going to get crazy since we've gone live for the playoffs. But wow, what a weekend of football! Only 2 games each day, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday. Pretty fun, pretty easy to consume all these games, except I'm still exhausted after everything that had happened today. So, let's start at the top and work our way back, because I think we should start with this game since it's fresh in our heads of what we just watched and observed. So I wrote down all my thoughts and points I wanted to make for each of the 4 games. So let's start with Buffalo, Baltimore. From Buffalo advances 27-25. Which error do you think was the most costly from the Baltimore offense in this game?
I mean, costly. It's got to be the fumble. Because it was a good drive. And
Andrews fumble in the second half, you mean?
The Andrews second half fumble has got to be the bigger disappointing turnover. That just took all the wind out of the Ravens from what it seemed. And these things happen. Mark Andrews, a multi Pro Bowler, he just doesn't make these errors, and he did, and
they said it he hadn't fumbled in a game since 2018 or something. I forgot what they said, but it was a long time.
2019, he hadn't fumbled. So that's 5 seasons of not fumbling, and then that's only the second fumble of his career. You know what I mean? Just what a letdown. I mean, that drop obviously was huge, and and Josh Allen would have got the ball back. That's also, he would have got the ball back with, a minute, 33 left, something like that.
Yeah. So, what did they have in timeouts? That's true. We're all assuming it was instant overtime after that.
I think Buffalo still had, I got to check that, but I think they still had at least 2 or 3 timeouts.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it.
No, I think they got it. I think they had at least 2 timeouts.
It's already generating a great what if. What if Buffalo had the possession? What if they did go into overtime? I have down,
my heart goes out for Lamar Jackson, though. I mean, he played his guts out that final drive,
especially that second half and that final drive was
Buffalo.
Lamar.
And then Buffalo, it seemed like Lamar had 5 minutes to throw that football.
Yeah. Right. They got the ball with 3-something left on the clock. They scored a touchdown with 1:22 on the clock. So it's not like time was really that much of a factor
right
in that final drive. They were moving. it was all Lamar, and all these games was like quarterback perfection play all weekend, except for maybe Philly Rams, but pretty close to great quarterback play in all these big wins. I had in the second half that really Buffalo did just enough to survive this game. We wouldn't, that which really came down to a drop, not necessarily anything they did on defense. We don't know what they would have done in overtime or on offense, but Buffalo in the second half was let their foot off the gas a little bit. They went for that field goal instead of the touchdown. Everybody seemed to approve of it. But where were you on Buffalo offense in the second half? Were you like me, where it's like, I think they're coasting a little bit. I don't think they're taking
You
big
know,
chances.
it's possible. They weren't taking big chances, and maybe they were coasting. But gosh, and I think it was brought up. Look, Josh Allen only had 127 yards. They went
Yeah.
16 for 22. But hey, it just seems like for January, Buffalo is just built for the playoffs right now. That they are running the football, and that's what they're going to have to do in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. And like they gave up yards rushing, they gave up 176 on the ground, and they have this bend, but like they got that Lamar fumble at the end of the second quarter was huge. That they got that. The one errant Lamar pass in the first quarter that they got was huge. Like, I don't know if you could say the defense really forced these things because it looked like Lamar dropped that fumble. It looked
Really?
like that was just a plain error, but they were in the position to make the turnover when it happened. And I give it to Baltimore for recovering, but Buffalo had it and they just didn't want to make the big mistake in the second half where they felt like our defense is playing good enough. Let's go toe to. I don't know. It was definitely had that heavyweight boxer feel where it was like one team won the first round 10-9. Oh, then the other one won 10-9. Oh, that was a
It,
knockdown
it,
10-8.
it definitely, and let me tell you that this rivalry that Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes have had. I mean, us NFL fans have had a huge treat watching this. Um, Unfortunately for Lamar Jackson, he's gonna have to wait another year. May win his third MVP this year. Definitely this, and I think the knock on Lamar has always been, he hasn't performed well. He performed well
Yeah.
today. I'm not gonna throw. I'm not. You can't put this game on Lamar. As far as the loss goes, I hate to put. I don't want to put on Mark Andrews either. Because it also seemed that it didn't seem like the Ravens defense could stop a nosebleed in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I think that also put him in a real bad position.
Yeah, it's hard to put it just on Andrews. He had the two big mistakes. On the replay, that ball looked really catchable.
You know what it seemed to me? I don't know if maybe once he got it, I think maybe he was just, I don't know if he took his but eyes off the ball, but I think he was also trying to focus on staying in bounds.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't sure where he was on the field and
Right, his back is to the
mhm.
to the line, and so I don't know where the pylon I meant to say, and it just didn't seem like he was sure where he was, and I think maybe that caused the little just hesitancy, if you will.
Yeah. What I loved about this game so much, number one, it's the last game of the weekend, so we know all the there's your beer again. We know all the mistakes, errors, tendencies, arcs of the first three games. And somewhere in this game, when Baltimore goes down, what was the most they were down? Was it
They were down 11, I think.
yeah, oh right, it was 21-10.
Right.
And it kind of reminded me of Detroit going down against Washington. And I wrote in parentheses, oh, they're in the Detroit zone right now. Because Detroit got a little desperate when
Well,
they
I mean,
went down. And then now Baltimore was in that zone and they battled back successfully, whereas Detroit
well,
did not. And again, it goes back to quarterback play. I'll even go play calling. But the big thing is with Baltimore that I think they leaned on really successful was the run. Like they didn't have to go down the field crazy like Detroit did. They
right.
didn't need a trick play like Detroit tried to pull off. They leaned on the run, and that got them back on it. I feel like Buffalo was winning this fight, winning every round of this fight, and then Baltimore all of a sudden might knock them down, and Buffalo's like, we just got to make it to the 10th round. We just got to make it to the 10th round. We're winning this thing. So Baltimore, great credit, coaching, everything was good. There wasn't that one big special teams error, that one big dumb penalty. There wasn't that. It was these mental errors, the drops, which really sucks for a way to go out, you know? I would have
You
loved to see if
know,
Buffalo could have done something in that last possession. So,
well, let me ask you this. Did you have Buffalo winning this game before kickoff?
yeah, I did. I think not 100% confident though.
I did. I did have, and I was pretty confident in Buffalo. So obviously, they did a good job. The Ravens did a good job, keeping it, um, keeping it close.
Hmm.
But I did have them winning this game, and I just want to remind you what it felt like in the mid 2000s. Um, that year that it just seemed like Brady had Peyton Manning's number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of felt that way that Mahomes has had Josh Allen's number. I remember that game where Peyton finally got that monkey off his back. I'm getting that same feeling from Josh Allen this year.
Yeah, big confidence for Buffalo in this game. Like both defenses, but Buffalo especially, like there was hard hitting. There was flying to the ball. It was like even those like the tush pushes, the little like QB sneaks, the one that Andrews took under center. It was just bodies, bodies everywhere. Players are going out of the game holding their shoulders like it's broken and then wanting to go back in the game 2 plays later. It was insane. A great, like just heavyweight battle of it. I think Buffalo, I it's hard with this one, but I think Buffalo was the deserving winner in this game. And again, Tony Romo said it at the beginning, like, I'm sad that one of these teams has to leave us, because we're seeing such great football this time of year. And I mean, it goes for the whole weekend. I don't think there was anyone that really embarrassed themselves, anybody that didn't show up this weekend. It was great football. There was little things here and there, but they were great games all the way around. Like you had to watch all the way through these games. So Buffalo's going to move on. They're going to go to Kansas City next week for the AFC Championship. What's your instant reaction? Buffalo at Kansas City.
I'm gonna stay with Buffalo. Again, I think obviously Mahomes has had a mental edge over the Bills. But remember that last time they played in the playoffs, it just, Josh Allen did enough to win. You get the ball to Mahomes with 13 seconds. You got to figure that's all I need, right?
Right.
But
And they brought it up during the onside kick. Is like this would be double heartbreak if
right.
if this is the way they go out. Yeah, this
But
is this is a big mountain for Buffalo. Is can you get through KC?
I think this is the year. I think this is the year, and I'm gonna say right now. I know we got other games to talk about, but I am gonna go back to the '91 season where we had the Redskins versus the Bills in the Super Bowl. That's what I'm going with.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's Super Bowl. I remember watching that somewhere. I don't think it was a very close game. Probably watched it at my parents' house.
Yeah, I think I was there,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah,
was
it might have been. We were like a young 10 years old at the
yeah,
time.
it was not a competitive Super Bowl to say the least.
Was that the one where Thurman Thomas lost his helmet, or was that one of the other ones?
Oh, I don't remember. I gotta check on that.
He lost his helmet in one of the games, and they were like, why isn't Thurman Thomas playing? He's looking for his helmet on the sidelines. Talk about one of your all time bad omens.
Yep.
Jeez. So you think Buffalo can do it? Because I think they can do it too, but then again, I've almost said that about every single opponent of the Chiefs this year. I think every opponent could have beat the Chiefs, and they didn't. And I think, maybe we should talk about Chiefs next. I think that was the Chiefs' best game of the season this last Sunday. Like, they looked like the Chiefs. There was Mahomes magics. They were perfectly coached. The play calling was perfect. There were no dumb penalties. There were no special team errors. And Houston was up for the challenge too, but Casey was like, oh yeah, don't forget, we're the defending champs. You go through us. So let's talk about that game since we're at it. Oh, wait, you gave me your picks for the weekend before all these games. So let's read them off since now we know the result. You went KC, you got it right. Detroit, wrong. Buffalo, right. And Rams, wrong. So you went 2 for 4 this weekend. Not bad.
But I did tell you I was rooting for the Commanders though.
Yeah, you were. You sort of split your decision there.
I thought Detroit was, but you know what? Now when you look back on, I just the losses that Detroit had on defense, it just finally caught up to them.
Yeah, they gave up so many points. They were running all. It was a weird Detroit team, and yet somehow I thought they were gonna come back. Somehow I thought they were gonna pull this game off. They ran one of the like coolest looking plays I think I've ever seen, where Goff hands it off to the running back, and then the running back pitches it forward to a crossing receiver. I thought that was a really cool play that they executed well, and then flip it with that dumb reverse pass that got intercepted in a
Yeah,
point of the game where they were starting to get momentum. All right, let's do KC first before we dive into
sure.
Detroit. All right, here's my notes on KC. Mahomes is not going to let this team lose. This is fully Mahomes. Mahomes plays well, they're going to win the Super Bowl. He
And
plays
Kelsey, I
okay.
mean,
He plays
and
okay,
Kelsey.
they're going to lose the Super Bowl by 3 points. It is his team. He has figured out everything about it. The game really is decided for me when Houston goes for it on 4th and 10 from the 50, and then they take that sack for minus 15 yards. Ironically, they stop the Chiefs. They go 3 and out, but it was over from there. It was almost like the dam broke from there. So where were you on the impressed level for Casey's win against Houston?
Once again, the Kansas City Chiefs, with the assistance of the team wearing black and white, they're in the AFC Championship game again. That call against Will Anderson on that helmet to helmet, that unnecessary, that was such
It was
a
two of them. There was two
two
questionable
of them,
ones.
but
Yeah.
it was just come on. And it's almost getting to the point where I didn't want to believe it, but now I'm thinking, wow, it's this Taylor Swift effect with the Chiefs right now that is the NFL really just trying to make way for the Chiefs to get back to the Super Bowl? Those are just terrible calls.
Maybe it's too much to say though. I mean, this would be too much of a
But
crazy
no one else gets
conspiracy.
these calls, Pat. No one else gets these calls except Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but we've seen a lot of questionable roughing the passer calls all season long. I think part of it too is Mahomes has learned how to manipulate these refs, and I think we need to do something about it from a referee perspective next year, where it's like you can't slide sideways at the very last second, and then the defenders converge on you, and then they throw a penalty because you're like, I was sliding. It's like, but dude,
Yeah,
you're baiting them.
you were a live runner
Right, you're baiting them.
when that defensive player launched. Mahomes was a live runner, and that's what is just so sickening about that call.
Yeah, and I don't know why the refs don't have a meeting about this by now. Be like, all right, this is what he does. Be aware of it, or we just get to a point where like we got to review these calls. The third down one where he got a roughing the passer where the defender put their helmet in his chest, not his helmet. Extended the drive. They got points out of that. And then there was one where he's running to the sideline and he stops. He stops right at the sideline. They push him out and then he totally flops. And the refs were like, okay, we can't call that one. Like that was too obvious. We got to do something about these, or next year we just got to start calling intentional grounding a lot more with these QBs because they're just flipping the ball out. And if a receiver is anywhere in the television screen, they're like, oh, in the area. We got to do something about this because Mahomes has learned how to get calls almost whenever he wants. So that was something. Houston, on the other side of it, the field goal kicking was horrible for Houston. That
It
hurt him
was,
too.
that's all, you know what, Pat, I'm glad you brought that up because, you can't shoot yourself. You can't miss those on the road against Patrick Mahomes.
Missed a field goal
Extra point.
early, missed an extra point early, and then he missed that one late as well. It's again like we said it last week. If you're the underdog, like you really have to be perfect just to hope to break
Especially
even.
against Mahomes, especially
Yeah.
against Mahomes. And when you think about all the games, there was that error. And again, I know
Mhm.
we're still talking about the Chiefs, but Kieran Williams, that big fumble, against Philadelphia, basically, that really hurt the Rams,
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to the Kansas City, look, they won. I think we would all agree this isn't the dominant Kansas City team we have seen in years past, but they've only lost one game all year. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, they're gonna find a way to win. They're in the AFC. They're in the AFC Championship game again now. Mahomes is now approaching Brady territory with appearances in championship games. So look, it's going to be a tough game. But I do this year. I do not think that Mahomes has the same playmakers he has had in years past. I'm not. I don't think much of their running game, the Kansas City running game right now. And again, don't we always say at this point in the season, you got to play defense and you got to run the football. And I just think that on both counts, the Chiefs are a little vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they go against a formidable opponent. I mean, Houston was the underdog. They were great. They played awesome for Houston. I think they have a lot to be excited about for the year coming because they're young. Um, but to me, Kansas City, this was the defense's win. Kansas City, they stopped Houston when they needed to. Like they were just choking them out, and they really didn't even threaten the lead at all. They're just like, oh no, you're not getting this third down. Oh, you want to go for it on fourth down? You're not getting it. They were all over. And Stroud took some horrendous sacks. And it's kind of weird because I thought a lot of quarterbacks took terrible sacks this weekend.
They
The
did that safety. What was that safety?
the safety in the
Jalen Hurts.
Rams,
Jalen
Jalen
Hurts.
Hurts took two on third downs that knocked him out of field goal range. I didn't notice any that Josh Allen had. Lamar had the fumble. Goff was horrible.
Jayden Daniels played
Jaden
perfect. He played
Jaden
perfect.
Daniels was almost perfect. You're right.
Here's the thing, though. One thing is to be playing in the climate-controlled confines of the Detroit, Ford Field. How's it going to be next week in Philadelphia? I'm not saying
Yeah.
I'm not saying Jane. I mean, they're Washington. I mean, they play in cold weather too. I'm not, but it's going to be. You're going to have to really bear down on defense. You're gonna your running game. Although Washington looked like they can really run the football yesterday.
Yeah, they were clicking on all cylinders yesterday. What did they put up 40 something points? Um,
That offense looked unstoppable.
Finishing up on the Chiefs, they haven't looked like Chiefs in the past because we're so used to them throwing it down the field so much. That being said, this was the most Chiefs they've looked like all year. I swear to God, I think the Chiefs are going to be holding up the Lombardi trophy, and we're still all going to be saying, I
They're
think
not
the
that
Chiefs are
good.
beatable.
Yeah,
We're going to
they're
say
not
this
good.
to the day we die. It's like, guys, they win damn games. It's just like you need to get through your head. They won the division. They won the number one seed. They're home. They look great, and we're still like, I don't think they look good. it's maybe we have Chiefs fatigue. We did this with the Patriots all those years. Maybe we do this with any dynasty as well. And also like the Chiefs. Look how we're like, the refs are rigging it for the Chiefs. Look how we're like, our brain is just like looking for an excuse for how this is happening because the Patriots were getting dubious calls all those years too. And we're like, I don't know. It's just like weird when a team gets as good as they are. I think they just start getting the benefit of these doubts with play calls, spotting the ball, just weird stuff like that. And that's where the Chiefs are. And it makes it even extra hard for them to be beat. That's why I'm so excited to see Buffalo go in there with a ton of confidence. Like wouldn't you say this is the year Buffalo can beat the Chiefs? Don't you think?
This is the year, and that's what I think is going to happen. This is the year. This is when Peyton Manning finally beats Tom Brady in the championship game.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's so important that Buffalo gets off to a good start to me. Like all these games, like they feel so like tentative. They feel so fragile that if you don't get off to a good start, everybody loses their confidence or something.
Yep.
So again, like back to the Detroit zone. If you go down 10, 15, 12, don't don't panic. Don't panic like Detroit did and do a dumb reverse pass. Stay with it. Where were you on Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark, now best friends in the booth now?
Oh, I've had it.
You've had it with what? Hold on, you can't just say you've had it, not explain
Let's just
yourself.
let's just stick to the football.
Well, what's your opinion? You have to have an opinion.
No, I don't have one.
Omar, I got news for you. On the show, we have to speak.
I have football opinions, Pat. Okay, I have foot. You didn't ask me to be on this show to give non-football opinions. I am here to give
I
football
think if
opinions.
you check your text, that's exactly what I asked you to be on this show for.
Okay, look, but it just kind of seems like, are they really friends, or do publicists get together and
Oh yeah,
and now let's see if we can get more likes on it. You just never know. You just never know.
yeah.
Like at the end, once the camera shut off, do they just say, "Oh, good seeing you, bye," and then like they just I don't know. I don't know like if this is like a real friendship or if this is just like people getting together and just
Hmm.
like, hey, let's get more clicks. So that's why I don't like all the attention it gets.
Yeah, it gets. I'm with you. This is PR. This
It's
is a hundred.
PR and
This is
it's
100% PR because Caitlin Clark is a Chiefs fan, lifelong Chiefs fan. Okay, great. Now they're like, oh, the PR people rub their little greedy hands together. Like, what
right,
can we do with this? Let's
right,
put her in the booth. Let's get
right.
these two worlds. And you're like, okay, well, that's cool. And you know what's interesting too? The first half or the first quarter, she's sitting like Caitlin Clark, sitting like a row behind Taylor Swift. And then somebody was like, hey, we got to get her next to Taylor Swift in the front row. And all of a sudden, they're next to each other doing the little like chick secrets next to each other, laughing and stuff. And also, Caitlin Clark is a huge sports fan. I bet she's throwing out a lot of sports jargon and stuff that Taylor Swift, it goes right over her head.
You
She's like,
know,
third down, you got to pick up that blitz. Let's go pick up the blitzer. And
well,
Taylor Swift's like, what? What are you talking
you're
about?
talking about like lifelong Chiefs fan. Let's get her in the booth. That what about the Chiefs super fan, the Chiefsaholic that's doing 17 years on a robbery? Why can't we put
Mm,
him in the booth
right.
before
Well, he's
before he
not a
turns
celebrity
himself?
like Caitlin Clark. But let's not forget, if he had PR and you could get click, he'd be in there.
Absolutely. So
This is a game of eyeballs. This is a game of advertising. We've got the biggest sport in the world. We got to get the faces we want to see in there. I'm a little upset when the girlfriend or Taylor Swift or whatever shows up to the game with not even the team colors, like something. No gray and black. Like what about a red
why
sweater?
why
Come
can't you
on.
wear a jersey or a hoodie?
Yeah, she's done it before. So what? Well, you're too cool. Too cool for to cheer for your team. I didn't like that about her wardrobe this week. Plus, we got some serious Taylor Swift fatigue at
I
this
am.
point.
I think I'm ready for the
We didn't like her little election tweet. Like, don't get in this world. You stay
I
pop to everybody. And then she kind of went. She kind
and
of
what
laid
good and
low.
what good that tweet did. So
Really. So, and then she laid low. She didn't go to a lot of games this year, and all of a sudden she's back. So it's a little iffy if America's 100% because, well, I'll make a hot take for 12 months from now. I think we got a Taylor Swift scandal on our hands somehow, some way next year. It's got to be. Nobody bats 1,000.
if they aren't married by this time next year, there's
Hmm.
something going on. There's my hot take.
We have to start talking marriage at some point. You're right. We're at a year plus. What's going on here? Interesting. Very curious to see what Taylor Swift's wardrobe is for next week, and if we have Caitlin Clark in the booth again. All right, Detroit, Washington, or Philly Rams? Where do you want to go next?
Let's go Philly Rams.
Okay, Philly Rams. Snow game. We had like two snow games this weekend.
Saquon Barkley rushes for 205 yards. That, my friend,
Huge,
huge.
huge,
And
big, like really potentially back-breaking runs too.
and that last run, he's banging his helmet and he's just screaming at the crowd. And Saquon Barkley, man, if you want to talk about two franchises in the NFC East that made the two other franchises eat their hearts out this weekend. Saquon's killing the Giants.
Mm.
Jayden Daniels is killing the Cowboys. So, you
Oh,
know,
geez,
it's
Cowboys talk.
but here's the thing. Jalen Hurts, something to look out for. He's banged up. Okay, he's and he took some shots today, and
Yeah.
I there was one play where I thought he rolled his ankle again, real ugly, and he got up, but
Mhm.
he limped, but he got up again. He finished the game. He's and he had that very good run in the first, was it the first quarter,
Right.
the opening touchdown for the Eagles. But he's a little banged up, so I think that's going to be interesting to see how what the Redskins do. They obviously are. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I call them the Redskins,
I was
but
gonna say you're calling them the Redskins already. I like this.
I see a Josh Lamar Jackson's up in the podium right now. He just looks dejected, Pat. But
Lamar
anyway,
does.
yeah. But that being said, um, again, the Eagles are they have the best offensive line in all of football. I think we can all agree, right? And if there's one thing you want to carry with you for a deep playoff run, it's a healthy and elite offensive line. That may be the most important unit on your football team at this point in the season, and the Eagles have it. The Eagles absolutely have it.
My
Um,
main points from that game is I think Philly may have the best running team in the league.
and I don't think anybody's that is.
Yeah, I think you could have argued Baltimore had they won.
I don't think it's debatable. I think this is the Eagles. The
No, I
Eagles,
think so too. I think they're the best. Yeah,
yeah, by
they
far.
showed it. They when they really needed it. Saquon was there. He's in
Saquon,
control.
Saquon, Saquon gets a chingon
Oh,
post.
you gonna send him a beer?
I don't think I'm allowed to send players things anymore.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, I don't think you can send alcohol across state lines. Oh, come on, you're a lawyer. Figure it out, man. I saw, I saw Carlito's Way. You can think of things.
But no, the lawyer from Carlito's Way.
Yeah, you're Sean Penn. You're Carlito's lawyer.
Yeah.
Keep him out of trouble.
Was it
Yet he
Salt,
was actually the main problem.
what was it Kleinfeld or something like that?
Carlito's. Oh, the character's name?
Yeah,
Yeah. What was it? He had like a
Kleinfeld.
lawyer. Like he was a Jewish guy.
Yes, it was Kleinfeld. I know. I've heard
Kleinfeld.
it was
Yeah.
Kleinfeld.
Yeah. You're Kleinfeld.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of liabilities, is Jalen Hurts a liability? Maybe not liability is the word, but whatever is right underneath liability, I think Jalen Hurts is that. The sacks he took, the injury, I'm really curious about. I really didn't trust him
I
100%
don't
in the
either.
second half of this game. He didn't, and they didn't really need to throw. I was like, let's keep feeding Barkley. You're in the lead. Keep feeding Barkley. And then
Right.
he'd take a sack on 3rd and 7 and they'd be out of field goal. Like, they can't knock this Rams team out. And
Nope.
then lastly, it took the Rams 3.5 quarters to realize, why don't we go no huddle? Because the
Well,
Rams did nothing in that second half. And yet I thought they were going to fucking tie the game.
but then the Rams, just when it seemed over, next thing you know, the Rams are back in it. They got the ball and they're only down six. That was crazy.
Well, yeah, I'm saying because they finally go no huddle. And all of a sudden they got Philly on their heels. It's really, really weird that last drive because they have all the momentum and it just stops. So the Rams get the quick TD. They go with the no huddle. They're down 6. There's 2:48 left to go. They have all their timeouts. That's the other thing with the Rams and coaching on the road. What road team has all 3 of their timeouts at the end of the game? That's unheard of.
Yep.
They have them all. The Rams have a possession. And they're going no huddle. And there's a point when a team goes no huddle, when they get 2 first downs, all of a sudden the quarterback is just dropping back with no rush. And you're like, oh, right, the defense is tired. They can't rush them. And that's what the Rams had. And they had that big, big pass to Nakua on the sideline. And Tirico goes absolutely nuts. He's like, Nakua on the sideline. And Chris Collinsworth is speechless. Like, there was nothing out of Chris Collinsworth. Then he goes like, Nakua. Like, I think that's all he said. Like, I really think we need a camera on the announcers when the big plays happen so we can see their reactions. because all of a sudden that game just went on steroids and something big really happened. And then here's what's weird. Follow me on this. This is when it flips for me. They throw a pass, like a 3-yard out route, I think to Nakua or somebody. He
Yes.
catches the ball, slides out of bounds, so it stops the clock, and the Rams huddle. And now Philly can substitute. Now they take a breath. They come out, and all of a sudden they get to 4th and 11. They don't convert it. They run a play that really didn't have a big probability of working. And then that's it. The season's over. They had Philly on their heels, and it was gone like that. I feel like huddling killed it for the Rams. It was really strange of a game. Did you think the Rams were going to pull this off, or was I crazy to think
They
that?
had a shot, and I thought they were doing it. That they were going to do it, but honestly, they just Philadelphia at the end was I thought too deep.
Offensively, you think? 'Cause
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, they just seemed like they just were just oh, excuse me. They were just better in the trenches, I thought.
yeah, and I think it's a perfect example of them grinding out a win. But God, I wanted the Rams to win so bad because I'm doing the math in my head. If the Rams win, Washington has to go to LA for the NFC Championship game. And I was like, how cool would it be for LA to have a home game after all they've gone through this month? Like, it would be unreal. It was not to be, though. The snow. The snow changed this game a lot. It was weird because the game starts no snow, and in the second half, there's a lot of snow. So all of a sudden, footing is different. It turned into a totally different game, and that affected it. That being said, what's your trust of Washington coming into Philly this weekend? Do you think Washington has a shot? And if so, what can they do against Philly?
Washington has a great shot. I think they have a great shot only because from what I saw, and again, they pass the ball very well. You know, Terry McLaurin, wow, he just that speed demon, that just little catch and run he had. Was it the second quarter? I think that of the
Mm.
last night's game. But what impressed me the most about Washington was their running game. And I think that I'm not saying they're as good as the Eagles running game, but you throw in what Jayden Daniels can do with his legs. You can throw in what Jayden Daniels can do with his arm. You throw in what the defense did. I mean, the defense, it looked like Goff was seeing ghosts out there, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So uh I do not think that Philadelphia is going to be should be an overwhelming favorite for this game.
And what do you think Philadelphia can do against Washington?
So, I mean, it's going to be a competitive game. I mean, you know, and Philadelphia is going to be favored to win the game. I understand that they're playing at home and they're a great team and they have experience. You know, Washington's a think about it, Patrick. Washington is with new ownership, a new
Yeah.
GM.
Yeah. Did you see Magic Johnson giving high fives in the tunnel after the game?
This is the first year of Dan Quinn back as a head coach,
Hmm.
a rookie quarterback. If you want to talk about a team that would be given a pass for a 5-12 season, it's probably these guys, you know? Um,
Yeah.
and here they are in the NFC Championship game.
Were you on Hurts against the Washington defense?
Be very careful. Be
Yeah,
very
I don't trust him one bit.
these guys can cause, force turnovers. Goff has been turnover prone. Goff had a game this year where he was intercepted 5 times and they won that.
Yeah.
But that being said, be very careful with Washington, a very dangerous team. I think the Battle of I-95 they're going to be calling it. I like it.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk Washington Detroit since we're there now. Washington 45-28. I guess the biggest surprise of the weekend would be my description of it. Um, have you ever seen a rookie quarterback more advanced than Jayden Daniels? I really forget that number one, he's a rookie. Number two, he's that skinny. And lastly, he is in total control of this offense. But Detroit, yeah, they're banged up on D, but that's still a good Detroit D. And he's in total control of this game. What is with that? Like, first year head coach, first year quarterback. How impressed were you with Jayden Daniels as a rookie against Detroit? Did it seem like my description? He's in control of this offense perfectly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it was a masterpiece.
It really was, and they were. I never seen so many big plays in the first half of a game too. I was like, I don't know where to start. We've had like there were like 6 plays for both teams in the first half of that game. Goff was shaky almost from the start of this game, and the weird thing to me when Detroit goes down and they're trying to build back up, they're trying to get in back in this game. I don't know why they just didn't keep running with Gibbs. They were running the ball really
Oh,
well on Washington, and then they would put it on Goff to throw deep, and then he would get picked. Or they would drive, and he had that one pick in the end zone. They run that reverse play. I was like, you don't need to get crazy. Gibbs is getting you 6 yards a carry, and he's busting one big every 10 carries. Like, it didn't need to be on Goff's shoulders. I don't know why I'm saying this from the couch and why Detroit adopted that game plan. What did it look like to you when Goff is struggling for Detroit? Because I felt like they were moving the ball and then they would just stall and
I
not get any
I
points.
I think Jared Goff's a good player. Um, he's come a long way. I mean, for a while there, people were, experts were claiming he was a bust, and he didn't deliver in LA, although he did lead them to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Tom Brady beat him that Super Bowl in a very probably the most boring Super Bowl I
Yeah,
think
really
in
weird Super
history.
Bowl.
The most boring history and the most boring Super Bowl in history.
Yeah.
But he kind of finds this rebirth in Detroit. But honestly, he may have cost them the game. I know,
Yeah.
and I
The
know the
pick six
defense,
was bad.
and I know the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed against Washington. But hey, that defense, when you're without 7 starters, that finally that's gonna catch up to you. But you can't turn over the football the way Goff did.
I might have even said, like, on that pick 60 through where he got leveled, like, I think Goff got concussed or something, but he was playing bad before that. So I can't even blame it on that. I just don't know why they didn't lean on the run because it was not a big gap points wise at the time. Washington had the ball on a 4th and 2 from the 5. That's the other thing that scares me about Washington. When a team finally stops an offense on 3rd down and you're like, all right, 4th down, their offense is still on the field. Wait a second. That's so scary to me as a defense. Like, oh shit. And they've got the ball. It's 4th and 2 from the 5. They're like, no, we're going for touchdowns, not field goals. And Jayden Daniels does the exact same bootleg he did in Tampa Bay the week before. I
Right?
don't know if I give credit to Jayden Daniels or berate Detroit for, like, you saw this play last week in the same situation and you let them beat you on it again. They do that. They get the first down. Detroit has 4 turnovers, one at the very end in garbage time. They just really had no answers on defense for much of that second half. And I really feel Washington was the better coach team. They
Yeah.
were they
I
really, really were the better coach team. It was tough to see that last 5 minutes or so for Detroit. Just the air being let out of the balloon. Dan Campbell is crying on the side. Detroit fans are sad. And I give credit to Dan Campbell for tearing up in the press conference and just like owning it. Just like, oh, it was
He
my
owned
fault,
it.
and
Yeah.
we got to get better. And I'll think about that when the time. It's just like, man, God, I feel bad
That
for
was
Dan
that was
Campbell.
that was hard to watch because my heart goes out to Cam. He's a great coach, and what he's done in Detroit, that's just it's nothing short of greatness.
Yeah, I think every team, like, there's 6 teams looking for head coaches right now. Every team would want a Dan Campbell. Every single one. Player, passionate, good with the players. It's it's again, it's the sad part about these playoffs are there's teams that I like that we're not going to see anymore. And it bumps me out. Do you want to know the spread of Washington Philly next week?
What do we got? I want to go. Let me guess. I want to go 4.5 for Philadelphia. -4.
Philly is giving 5.5.
Okay.
I see 6 in a couple spots here. 5.5 to Washington. That's if I'm a betting man, I'm like, give me Washington all the way with those points. That line probably will move
Yeah, I think so. And I think
for
it's going to
kickoff.
be
That seems like a lot. I mean,
that's why I said 4.5, but I think by kickoff it should be about 4.5.
I think it should be 3.5. I think it's even, and then give Philly home field, so give them 3.5.
That's
Wow.
the gamblers, but again, I'm excited about the Redskins
Why do you
Sunday.
look around?
I don't
What are
want
you
to get
nervous?
I don't want us to get canceled, Pat.
You upset the Taylor Swift crowd, and now you're saying Redskins, and now you're nervous about your safety.
Yeah, right.
You are the Carlitos Way lawyer, just always looking over your shoulder, carrying a gun with you. Don't start carrying a gun with you and say it's for protection, please.
Right.
Would it surprise you how many times the number one seed has lost in the divisional round? Give me a guess since the playoffs. I looked this up since I think they rated it since like 1975. How many times do you think the number one seed has lost in the divisional round?
Since what year?
I think it goes back to 75 since the format of the playoffs.
The number one seed losing in the divisional round 25 times.
Wow, you're actually closer than I thought. 19.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was super rare, and I looked it up, and there was a bunch, but that's just so disappointing. You play so hard all year for the number one seed for home field, and you're one and done.
But remember, playoffs is different. Like I know we said this, but any given Sunday, and teams are hurt, teams are banged up, teams,
Mm-hmm.
there's injuries. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's happened so many times. It actually, if you just do it by percentage, it happens a quarter of the time. And remember, divisional used to be two teams had buys instead of one, like theirs now. And the most recent one was the famous Dallas Packers game, where Aaron Rodgers wins at the very end
Yep.
against Dallas. So I was a little surprised that it actually happens that often. So, well, those were the games that we talked about this week. And that brings us to the awards for the divisional round
Ooh.
of the playoffs. Less games to decide from. However, I still had plenty of them that I found here. So let's go right to it. Most memorable moment of the weekend. Do you want to start? Do you want me to kick it off?
I want to go because I'm going to
Okay.
say
Give me your most
the,
memorable
the,
moment.
to me, football in Washington is back. I'm thinking of remember the old Joe Gibbs days, Pat, the old white Redskins sweater. Joe Gibbs
Oh,
wearing
like on the sideline?
yes,
Yeah.
wearing those perfectly creased khakis and
Mm.
and the glasses with his perfect his hair, the hat which had the perfect flip. Um
Perfect.
uh,
Oh, like he had like the high school teacher
yeah, the eyeglasses because it
bifocals.
had like those the extra bridge, like the two
Yeah.
bridges.
Big lenses. Yeah. Definitely
Uh,
look like one of your friend's dads.
Washington's football's back, and let's bring this up, Pat. I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. I leave that to your family and basically the rest of El Paso, Texas, which I grew up with. How bad does Jerry Jones have to feel that, wow, Washington is now back in the conference title game? They made
Yeah.
it back before the Cowboys did,
Yeah.
and it's just not a good look for Jerry Jones. Again, I go back to a new owner, new GM, new quarterback, and a first year head coach, which they get from Dallas, mind you. Okay,
Yeah.
are the Dallas Cowboys? By the way, flip that around. Even though they lost this weekend, the Houston Texans, who play in the same state, are winning playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
Is Dallas still America's football team? Are we calling it America's football team because we have no other football team to call? why not call the Patriots America's team? At this
Yeah,
point, they clearly have demonstrated far more success in the postseason. Why? I mean, are we still living in the Staubach days?
yeah, yeah. Patriots could take that mantle, especially in the last 20 years, because number one, they were the Patriots. Their name is the
Oh,
Patriots.
so
It's a
there's
tough
another hot
one.
thing.
There's no way Jerry Jones does not see the irony in all this. Like, oh, I'm the worst team in Texas. I'm the
Right,
worst team in the division.
right, right.
There's no way he doesn't think about that. So your moment is just Jerry Jones feeling bad
Well,
about his team.
my moment is pissing on Jerry Jones, but let's be
Oh,
honest. But the fact that football is back in Washington, I'm excited about that.
gotcha. Okay.
So and
Uh,
again, to me, that also it was a coronation of Jayden Daniels. This may be the next big ticket.
you know what? Who Jayden Daniels looks like on the sidelines when he takes his helmet off and sits on the sideline? He looks
With those
like
little
Prince. He
Prince.
does. He's all skinny.
Yeah.
He has like these like feminine features. Like he's got like the soft cheek. He looks like Prince on the sidelines. Not to mention like everybody towers over him on the sideline. Looks like Prince is gonna sing Little Red Corvette. My most memorable moment from the weekend. The Rams get the ball, final possession. Philly's kicking off, and the stadium is playing Welcome to the Jungle. And I'm like, oh, let's go.
Yeah.
We're about to see the last possession of the game, maybe season. Welcome to the jungle. Let's go tear someone's hair out. It was awesome. It gets you pumped. And I don't know if Fox, who had the Rams game? Was it
It was
Fox?
Fox. It was Fox. It was Fox.
I don't know if Fox did
Oh wait,
something
no, was
different.
it? Or was it
I
Peak
think.
NBC?
No, it was NBC. It wasn't because Collinsworth went
Collins, right?
crazy
It was,
over
how could we
Nakua.
forget Collins?
Yeah.
Well,
He-
all of a sudden,
oh, Mike. Oh, Mike. Look at Nakua.
no,
He's
Mike,
grabbing balls on the sideline.
I love it. Everybody's going for it on fourth down. It's like, come on.
Mike, when I was in Philly, I got hit in the ribs once. And let me tell you, Mike, I felt it the next day. That cold ball, that's a hard ball, Mike. You need to put some gloves on there, Mike. I don't know if Fox did something different, but for this broadcast, but they let the camera roll mic'd up the stadium a lot more because every time Philly scores a touchdown, the crowd does this like hometown song. They do this
Yep.
fly Eagles fly song.
Yeah, Bengals fly.
And we actually heard it over the broadcast. I've never heard that song before on a
I
broadcast.
heard it too. Patrick, Washington, look up last time Philly and Washington in a playoff game. Washington's defense forces 5 sacks, an interception, two forced fumbles. They beat the Eagles 20-6. Uh,
Oh, and that
Mark,
was the Super Bowl year, right?
no, that
For
was the year
Washington?
before. That was the year before.
Year before.
The
Oh, that
year,
was the last time they played them in the playoffs?
yes,
Oh, gotcha. So this was probably a divisional or something.
yeah, it was a wild card. It was wild card weekend.
Gotcha. Okay. What year was that?
1990, Mark Rippon over Randall Cunningham. Wow.
90. Oh, so they beat Philly and then continued to No, no,
No,
that'd
they
be a
didn't
few
get the
years
Super Bowl.
before.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
90 was, who was 90?
The Giants ended up beating the Niners in the NFC Championship game.
Gotcha. Okay, so that
When
was the
Montana, basically
that was the Montana ender.
Montana's career over in San
Jeez,
Francisco.
that's right. So that was Giants Bills year.
Right.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, I thought Fox played a lot more of the stadium music because I heard the Rocky song at the beginning of the game. I heard Welcome to the Jungle. I heard the Eagles Fly. So my most memorable moment was Welcome to the Jungle blasting. Rams got one final offensive possession. I don't know how you don't get pumped up for sports when you hear that. That's the best. I'm glad they covered that. Keep it going, Fox. If you did something different, do that moving forward. Next award, the Cringeworthy Award. I'll get us started on this one unless you have a good one.
Oh, let's just talk. Mark Andrews.
Oh, two drops? One drop in particular?
Yeah, that's gotta be. I was cringing on that only because Mark Andrews is such a star player, always Mr. Reliable, and it just
Mm-hmm.
caught up to him. And I know I know there's going to be some shithead fan that's going to be sending terrible mail to him, and I feel for the guy, you know?
I know. It's not fair when people try and kick a man when he's down. He knows he messed up. He didn't intend to
Right.
drop these balls. And even on the broadcast, I think Romo thought he caught it. I think Romo's like, he got it. And he's like, oh, it's incomplete. It was hard to watch. That definitely deserves a
I do
cringe.
appreciate that no one is as emotional as Tony Romo play on the call.
That's the other thing. We got every broadcast A team this weekend. We got Romo. We had Buck and Aikman. We had
Collinsworth and Mike and
Collins. We had Tom Brady, who was
and, and,
excellent, I
and
thought.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady, who called a very good game, by the
Yeah.
way. And
People gave Tom Brady in
if
the
you look,
beginning
if you
shit in the
looked at
beginning.
Tom Brady in week one versus Tom Brady at the division round, so much different.
Yeah, the week before he was good too, calling out how what the quarterback is yelling out at the line. Like when a quarterback yells reload, it means that. I was like, oh, I never knew that. That's pretty good, Tom Brady. My cringeworthy award for the week goes to fans of a number one seed who loses. God, those were some sad Detroit faces, man.
Oh, but they got to understand. Look, you got the right coach. You have a star running back in Jahmyr Gibbs. You have a
Well,
great.
you could try and tell that to them because there were some kids crying in those stands,
Oh,
and
it
it
looked
was
bad. It looked bad.
cringeworthy.
And let me tell you something. I wasn't rooting against Detroit either. Like I wanted to see Eminem at the Super Bowl, in the luxury box.
Yeah, I want to see Eminem. I want to see more Jeff Daniels. I wanted to see the Detroit
The fact
Axel Foley jacket.
the actual jacket, and then the fact that you're looking at the box and you see Calvin Johnson, you see Barry Sanders,
Barry Sanders.
Hall of Famers that have always carried themselves so well, so professionally, and what they've contributed to football. Megatron, wow. It just I
Wow.
was rooting. I mean, again, I couldn't pick. I'm glad Washington made it, but I would believe me, I wanted to see Detroit in a Super Bowl as well.
Yeah, I was sad every single one of these teams lost this week. I was joking. I watched the game with my brother, and I was joking like they should just put Barry Sanders on the roster. Put him
And
under
Megatron.
put him under like Byron Sanders. And then all of a sudden the camera catches Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders Jr.
Yeah, put Junior. And all of a sudden the camera like pans to the sideline like, is that Barry Sanders suited up? I think it is. I think it is, Jim. And I'm like, put him in for one play. Who cares? Get him in there.
Well, that's why I'm so fascinated about Barry Sanders. Like, if you didn't know Barry Sanders, and you see him at the store buying milk or something like that, like you would just think he's like a regular guy.
Yeah, it looks like a regular guy. Is that Barry Sanders? Is that Bernard Sanders? Also had a cringeworthy nominee for Matt Stafford's beard. He's got a weird beard. It's like gray, but also brown, and it's very uneven. His beard was kind of cringeworthy today, and his face was getting very red.
What are the Rams going to do about quarterback? I mean, are we stick? I mean, Stafford's up there, man. I mean, when are we looking for our replacement?
They got a lot of weapons on offense. They got stuff they can do. Their coaching is solid. Yeah, I think he's got a year or two left to
2 years? That
see
sounds
what's
like a
left.
long time, Patrick.
How old is Stafford?
I think he came in the league in '08,
He's been in the league over 10 years.
'09.
That's for sure.
That's maybe 15, 16
Well, how
years.
old is he? Because let's say our barometers for old quarterbacks are Brady and Rodgers.
But
playing
that's not
into-
fair because that I mean that those two are just superhuman. You know what I mean? Like,
Why can't Stafford be superhuman?
gotta win more.
No, I'm not talking about the record. I'm talking about his body. Can he physically play?
He's been hurt a lot. He's been hurt a lot.
He has taken injuries. Wasn't he out for a whole season? One of those
Yeah.
in between there somewhere?
Yeah.
So look at that from a positive. He doesn't have wear on the tires. Matt Stafford is 36. He's got 2 years in him, Omar. At 36 years old by quarterbacks these
No,
days,
Patrick,
he's got 2 years in him.
I must make you feel old. That's old, bud.
No, the quarterbacks can play at 36. What throws do you think he can't make? You saw him in the snow today make every throw. Well, make the argument for him not playing.
I mean, I'm not saying he can't play. I'm just saying at what point are we like looking for to the future if you're the Rams?
Oh, then I go 2 years. The guy can play. The guy can make all the throws.
Okay.
So, and there's weapons there. I think I'm saying I don't think you're looking for a quarterback or drafting a quarterback this offseason. You've got Stafford.
Okay. Is Detroit moving on from Goff?
That's a deeper question. Goff, Darnold are question marks this offseason. Goff is a tough one because he's got a lot of the tools, but
Because Goff
he did not
sometimes
perform in these big ones.
Goff looks like he's Johnny Unitas in his prime, you know?
He really did. He really did. Like where did the Lions fall short in this game? A lot of Goff, but I think there were some things that could have helped their case in this game with the play calling, let's say. But I'm with you. Goff was like, God, Goff. We were going in and you threw that dumb pass that got intercepted in the end zone. You fumble. It was brutal. I don't like sealing a QB's fate based off of one game, but it was a big game. It was a really big game, Goff. Jeez. All right, that was my cringeworthy nominees. Let's go to memeable moment. I went with every single Philadelphia Eagles fan's Instagram right now. Just going crazy, reacting to a win. You know how some people record like their spouse or their husband or wife as the game ends and then they get their reaction without them knowing it? I think those are all very memeable. Philly fans reacting to a Philly win.
Yeah.
Make a meme out of that.
That's a great meme. My meme, most memeable moment. It's just the greatness of Josh Allen when he just every time he just does the first down when he puts his body through hell to get that extra yard, and that's just to me the memeable moment. Watching Josh Allen just signal first down.
Also great. He's grown into some great QB hair this year because he's got the locks coming out of the back of the helmet.
I love it.
Who has the best QB hair, do you think, in the Final Four? You got Jayden Daniels, got the crazy braids, which I have no idea how to rate that. He's got crazy braids. What's Jalen Hurts?
It was braided at some point this year. I think now it's just like a buzz.
Just a buzz. Okay. That's cool. Josh Allen's got the locks.
I want to get rid of that Mahomes hairdo.
Mahomes has got the puffy salad hair paired with a headband, which is vital.
No,
okay.
I'm gonna go with my favorite hair. It'd be the Josh Allen look.
Yeah, me too. Good big year for QB hair this year in the NFL. We had Burrow, we had Josh Allen. Crazy hair for QBs. All right, next award. Best Innovation Award for the week. I went with this one, and then it actually brought up a ton more questions for me. But best innovation during the Philly game when it got all full of snow, the field, the broadcast just superimposes field numbers on the on the screen.
Well,
so you're like, oh, nice.
Buffalo, but mine was going to be the heaters, the little heaters on the under the the sheet of grass. Some of these stadiums have because
that was my question. Like this day and age, yeah, snow's cool and all, but we can't melt the snow on this field with today's technology. You don't think we could do that? Or do we like snow? Do you like snow on the field?
I like snow on the field.
Really? I kind of am over it by the second quarter. They're falling down everywhere. They're slipping. We talk about cleats for 35 minutes. So you're saying don't heat the field. Keep the snow on there.
Keep the snow on there.
Oh, okay. All right. What's your best innovation of the week?
No, that's the heaters. The heaters under the...
Oh, heater.
Yeah, I love it.
On the field. How do you feel about the heating situation on the sidelines these days? You got heated benches. You got those big coats. I don't know if they have this anymore, but they used to have this huge blower on the sidelines that just blew out heat like a huge hairdryer. And there'd be a big painted sign on it that would say, "Stay back." Remember those things?
Yep.
Where are you on sideline heating?
Ow, I love it. I think sometimes it doesn't matter though.
You're okay with like luxuries as long as they're on the side of the field, not on the field.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Next award, soundtrack award. Easy one for me.
Welcome to
The
the
Rock,
jungle.
the Rocky song at the beginning
Oh,
of every single Philly game. I don't know how that doesn't swing the point spread by half a point every single game. You play and not Eye of the Tiger, like the Rocky song, the instrumental. So I give it to that one. Give me the Rocky song before any sporting event. Gonna be pumped up.
mine is going to be Hail to the Redskins, which has now been changed over to Hail to the Commanders because we're
Oh
back.
yeah. That's another team that has like a fight song that like the average public viewer doesn't know about.
Yep.
Hail to the Commanders. Yeah, and Martin Luther King Day tomorrow. Next award, Hot Take Award. All right, I got a hot take for you this week. I think Dallas hires their head coach this week. I think they're going to pick somebody this week.
Deion
And
Sanders?
I was thinking past of all the past Dallas head coaches. Dallas rarely takes a chance with their head coach. McCarthy, Garrett, Dave Campo,
So that being
Chan
said,
Gailey. Their biggest wild card was Parcells. They usually don't take chances with their head
so
coaches.
you're saying so you wouldn't be surprised if a Jason Witten, who's also been rumored to get the job, a guy like Jason Witten, the defensive core, although not a good defensive.
Garrett comes out of retirement and half the Cowboys fan base commits suicide.
And then I
Like,
think who
no!
was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, the former quarterback there for
Kellen
Dallas,
Moore.
Kellen Moore. If you get Kellen Moore in there, you're talking Jason Garrett 2.0. That's all I'm seeing.
Okay, you're already ahead of me. I think they're going to hire Kellen Moore.
Ooh,
Well, remember, he was their OC 2 years ago.
I
This
don't
seemed,
like it.
well, I didn't say if you'd like it, but doesn't that seem like a Cowboys hire?
It seems a prototypical. I mean, it just seems this is a Jerry Jones hire. If
What?
it's
Yeah, this would not surprise me if this is Jerry's move.
okay.
You know, and they're not going to do it this week because Philly's in the game, still in the playoffs. But I think this is their guy. They never take chances at QB. There's no at QB at coach. There's no way they'll hire Dion, right? Do you see them hiring Dion? First NFL head coaching job, Dallas Cowboys. No way. Or is Jerry crazy and he'll do it?
Jerry, I don't know. I think the only thing about Dion is Dion's always going to be Dion, so he's not going to
All right,
change.
I don't see those. I don't see them
Even though
hiring
it's
him.
Jerry Jones writing his paycheck, signing his
Yeah,
paycheck, he's not going to change.
yeah. I don't. That's why I don't see them hiring Dion. That's too Kardashian land, even for the Cowboys. Now bringing someone crazy out of retirement to play for him, that's something different. All right, what do you got? Hot take award for the week.
Uh, Notre Dame in an upset over Ohio State tomorrow.
Oh, you're watching college football, are you?
I am. I've been watching college football only because of the playoff. Now I do think tweaks need to be made, but I
Hmm.
do appreciate the effort that college is now taking for a college football playoff. Although I really do think that the college football playoff should be limited to a Big Ten versus SEC challenge, and then let's just call it from there. And they
What
need to
SEC teams were in the playoff this year, though?
Georgia, Texas,
Georgia. Oh, Texas is SEC now, right? Okay, I forgot about that.
Tennessee.
They were in the top 12? Who'd they lose to? Forgot.
Ohio State.
Really?
Let
Maybe
me
you're
see.
right. Yeah, look, I don't remember Tennessee. So you
Tenn-
like the 12-team playoff?
yes,
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I actually watched some college football, and I'm going to watch.
they lost to Ohio State December
Oh,
21st, 42-17.
okay. Okay, so you did have some SEC in there. Strong conference. I've always been strong, though.
Always. And then I was looking. Next thing you know, on Saturday morning, before I went on a run, um,
You're running now, huh?
yeah, I'm getting back into it. Alabama number
Getting
four.
getting ready for next year's Thanksgiving turkey trot?
There you go. I'm gonna
Right.
shock the world. Tennis. I mean, it was Kentucky versus Alabama, 4 versus 8. Tennessee, Auburn's number one. Tennessee is a top ranked team. And now
Mhm.
it's like the SEC's back in basketball.
What a shot to whatever the Pac-12 used to be. What happened to all those good teams? Not this year.
No, well, now they're part of the Big Ten. Oregon,
Oh, right. They switched too.
USC.
I'm so behind. I have a best innovation on top of my best innovation award for you, but it's specifically for you, Omar. Tomorrow is the national championship, Notre Dame versus uh, Ohio State. You and I, amongst a lot of other people, both went to a Notre Dame high school that was kind of ripped off Notre Dame.
No, we
We
were so much so the school was threatened with a lawsuit,
right, yeah.
or,
Well, we
or,
kind of
or,
ripped off some trademarked
or at
words.
least I think we were sent a cease and desist letter.
Right, we got a cease and desist for using a lot of trademarks. So we went to a Notre Dame ripoff high school, which we sort of pretended was Notre Dame. Notre Dame's in the national championship. Why not you organize a watch party in the multi-purpose room of our high school, and thus it becomes the biggest fundraiser of the year,
I
Omar.
should have.
And then you could wear like your Letterman's jacket if you want. You could wear the school uniform. You could wear a Notre Dame jersey. Don't you think we could fill a gymnasium for a watch party?
We probably should have done that, Pat.
Yeah. Yeah. We see I'm full of good ideas. All right. We spent too much time on this. Next award, the Sunday double feature. We had, I'm going to call it 2 snow games. It's very cold in a certain part of the country. So you know what my Sunday double feature is? The day after tomorrow, Gyllenhaal, Dennis Quaid, Sela Ward. Don't sleep on Sela Ward. The whole East Coast snows over. Not a bad disaster movie.
I
So I
want to
went
go
with day after tomorrow. A lot of
in
snow.
in honor of MLK Day tomorrow. We should do Selma, but it's also Inauguration Day tomorrow.
Selma.
So I'll go with Air Force One.
Oh, not bad. I thought you were gonna go like White House Down or something for actiony. Air Force One was a great action movie.
Fantastic.
Yeah. All right, good picks. I got for the next award the announcer award. You know who got my announcer award far and away this week, Omar? Erin Andrews gets my announcer award. Did you see her in the Detroit game?
No,
She looked like she was going to the president's ball. She had like this leather thing on and she looked amazing. And part of the reason I say this is the last 2 weeks, she was dressed like she was in witness protection. She was like jacket, hat all low. I was like, you have Erin Andrews and you're putting in a
oh, look at
parka.
that. Look at this little leather getup. Wow.
You're looking at it? Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
She was already a 10, but she went to like a 10.5. And then it's to the point where I'm getting mad during the broadcast. I'm like, well, what's Erin Andrews have to say about this? Can we get a cutaway to Erin Andrews? Let's get her on the sidelines. Why are we wasting camera time without Erin Andrews?
My hot take is she's trying to look good for Jayden Daniels. Oh, there we go.
You think what do you mean? Like she likes Jayden Daniels?
She wanted to catch the next big thing.
What do you mean? She's like married. Didn't you have a kid? Maybe not a kid, but I think she's married. I think. Well, I'm definitely going to listen to her Hot Girl podcast this week. See what I can learn about things that go on in the world of hot chicks. What happened to her? Don't you think? Remember that scandal with her years ago? She should have parlayed that into a spot in the Monday Night Football booth.
Yep.
Who would disagree with that? She knows enough football. She looks good. Better than these interviews she does during the week with the players where they ask nonsense questions. Or just constant more sideline interviews with Erin Andrews, especially if she's going to dress like that. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. She gets the announcer award for sure. I've always liked her.
I'll have to say, after I saw that outfit, I got to second that.
I know. How can you not? Let's stop the show right now and just go to Google Images, Erin Andrews, Detroit. I didn't have a location award this week. Did you? I thought everything looked good. I was going to pick, Buffalo home, but that'd be too obvious. So I didn't go with a location award this week. Maybe anywhere warm in the country would be a good
Oh wow.
location.
The commercials for the NFL skills and flag football games
Oh,
seem pretty warm.
not bad. Yeah, that looked good. Where is that going to be in New Orleans where the Super Bowl is?
I don't know. I'll look that one.
Hmm.
Shit, man. Let me take a look at that. But I'm interested this year.
Yeah, maybe Florida would be a good location award. Not LA, I'll tell you that much. Next award, best quote. Collinsworth had a good one today, and it was I think
Orlando. Orlando.
Orlando. Okay, so not where the Super Bowl is. Collinsworth had one. Who was it? I guess Stafford got hit. No, Hurts. Jalen Hurts got hit in the ribs, and he goes, "Mike, it's not right away that your ribs hurt. It's in a day or two." I was like, "Oh, is that how soreness works?" Chris Collinsworth, I had no idea that you might get hit but not feel it for a day. I thought that was good. There's a lot of people nipping at the Collinsworth crown heels as far as announcers go now. He used to be the GOAT. Now I feel like Romo Nance right up there. Brady's interesting to listen to.
Yep.
Collinsworth. I
All
can't wait
good.
for I can't wait for next. Who's got the games next week? Is it CBS Fox?
Oh, it's
Is it
always CBS Fox for Championship Sunday.
for
Yeah.
champion? Okay, so we're gonna have Romo and Nance and Brady and
Yes.
whoever he calls
It
JB.
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, he calls him JB. I don't know his name. I like it. Okay, final award or not final? We just got two more. Best play call slash coaches award. I went with the Jayden Daniels 3rd and 2 QB run. 2 weeks in a row, he's done this naked bootleg and been successful at it. So how can you not pick that one? I went with that one.
I'm gonna go with although in a losing effort, Ben Johnson called but then I think it kind of
Oh,
got to him,
Ben
and then he got too
Johnson.
cute. Then he got too cute. I love that like pitch and second double
Yeah,
pitch.
yeah, that was an awesome play.
But then he gets cute and has, Jamison Williams throwing throwing a ball that the Washington Red the Commanders
The Red
intercepted,
Commanders.
which basically ended the game
Yeah,
for the Lions. So, but that was a great play call.
yeah. Back to like the coaching of it all. It was like, all right, we're gonna call this play, but if it's not there, you don't have to throw it. You can run it or throw it out of bounds. Don't force it. You're not a QB, you're a receiver. I don't know how you don't tell them that point in the game. I don't know. Detroit, just so many things Detroit could have done differently. All right, last award of the week. Who won the week, Omar? Do you want to hear my nominees?
Go for it.
I got the Buffalo fans, Kyle Kingsbury,
Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury, and how about the Israeli hostages that got returned?
Wow, that's pretty. Yeah, I think they
They,
won.
maybe we should give it to them. Like, come on, they got to go home. They were in an 8x8 cell for God knows how long. Maybe they won the week. The Israeli hostages.
I'm not gonna say won the week. I'm gonna say Josh Allen survived the week.
Mm,
He needed to get back to the we. It's not a shock that he's back in the AFC Championship game, but this would have been a game that he could have lost to Lamar Jackson. So he
God.
survived the week to put him in position to next week me saying he won the week.
So you really think like he's walking out of there, wiping his brow, going, "Woo, we dodged a bullet." Is it like
Absolutely.
what do you think's in his head? You think that
Absolutely.
he's like, "Thank God I didn't need to go back onto that field and try and win this game on offense." Really?
Absolutely. I mean, when Lamar Jackson when you're sending Lamar Jackson goes home when you send Lamar Jackson home, you slayed a dragon.
I didn't really think of it that way, but the way they were playing in that second half, yeah, I could see that. I mean, you did you hear his post game interview? He was like, "Oh, we just believed in our D." And I was like, "The D, the guy dropped the ball."
I know
Josh Allen.
other individuals that won the week. Good NFL kickers.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Because now he's seen how important they are when you got in the Texans kicking woes And Philadelphia's got
Philadelphia
and
almost botched the game because of their dumb kicker.
Philadelphia's got some kicking woes too, and that could
Mhm.
cost them next week if they're not careful. So you need good kickers out there.
Before we go, what do you think the spread is on Buffalo KC? See if you can guess the line.
Right now, I'm gonna go. Oh, come on, it's gotta be an even pick 'em right now, but it's not. I want to go 2.5 Kansas City minus
It's
two and a
can
half.
it's Kansas City minus 1.5.
Okay.
Not bad. You're close. Wow. All right, so let's predict it while we're here before we go. Conference championship. We got Buffalo at Kansas City. That's the that's the late game. And Washington at Philadelphia. What do you think? You seem to be have a man crush on all things Washington Commanders. You think they're gonna pull it off? They're minus 5.5.
I am going to say that right now. I'm gonna go in the. I think the first game is gonna be Philadelphia, Washington.
Yep. Yeah, they're early.
Washington 26, Philadelphia 23.
Wow, close game. Okay. What about Buffalo, Kansas City?
Well, I'll take the away team again, and I'm gonna
Hmm.
go this time. I'm gonna go Buffalo 28, Kansas City 16.
Wow. Only 16 points for Kansas City. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to make my picks. I mean, that's the matchup I'd want to see too. Washington and Buffalo. However, this season has disappointed me in many, many ways this year. I really see another boring Philadelphia game. I feel like there's going to be some air let out of the Washington bubble. So I'm going to go Philly 28, Washington 15. Weird
Okay.
score. Weird 15 score. And then let's go Buffalo, Kansas City. This is going to be super low scoring, weird game. Maybe comes down to a turnover. Maybe comes down to a special teams play. So I'm going to go Kansas City 15, Buffalo 12.
Okay. I like it.
That's going to be my pick. And I'm going to tell you right, I don't like either of these picks. I don't like them. I want the teams. I want
So
the
you're telling
teams
me
you
you
said in the
just
Super
made
Bowl.
you just made two picks and you stopped and said I don't like them. I don't like
I don't
them.
like them. I told you. I told you what I like, Aaron Andrews. What I don't like, Caitlin Clark in the booth talking sports with Taylor Swift. And I don't like Philadelphia and Kansas City in the Super Bowl. And you know that's what's going to happen. And we need to rethink roughing the passer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was the divisional round for the Sunday Night Talk. We did it live here on YouTube, and we're going to do it again for the conference championship next week. So get ready, everybody. For me, Patrick Ramirez, for Omar Carmona, it's Martin Luther King Day. Tomorrow, everybody be safe.
Day.
Enjoy
Inauguration.
the day. We'll see you next week. Omar, good night.
Next week. Good night.
All right, we got it. Let me cut off YouTube Live. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll be back next week.